We've got some interesting information for you this week.
Major League Baseball helps tell VA's story during 4th of July games.
Louisville will get a new VA hospital.
And many historic events are linked to the 4th of July.
Stay right there. We'll be back right after this. Hello, I'm Isidro Reyna, an intern this summer with the VHA Office of Public Health and Environmental Hazards.
And I'm Mary Gluckle, a summer intern with the VACO Broadcast Center. We're glad you could tune in for this week's VA News. Major League Baseball celebrated the 4th of July with a series of patriotic activities. Major League Baseball produced the special events in conjunction with the Department of Defense America Supports You program and the Department of Veterans Affairs. The activities included flyovers, color guard performances, special renditions of the national anthem, and first pitch ceremonies. All clubs hosting a July 4th home game showed special taped greetings from Baseball Commissioner Bud Selig and President Bush, thanking our armed forces for their service. Also shown were public service announcements from DoD and VA. Here's one of the VA PSAs seen by baseball fans.
There is no other country in the world that has anything that comes close to what we do for our veterans in the United States.
This isn't your grandfather's soldier and this isn't your grandfather's VA system. It can't be. And it has to be current with what's happening now.
The VA looks at the wholeness of a person. It has medicine, it has psychiatry, it has long-term care. It is the cutting edge of treatment. They take research and they implement it. It provides the wholeness of treatment to the wholeness of the person.
Makes me very proud how broad in scope the VA is in what we do for veterans, from health care, to benefits, to education, to loan guarantees, to life insurance, rehabilitation. It is a reflection of just how important our society and the people in our country think veterans are.
That PSA and a number of others were first shown at Veterans Appreciation Night at the Washington Nationals game on June 14th, Flag Day. They were produced by London Liebengood of the VACO Broadcast Center.
Here's the latest on the theft of a computer laptop that contained personal data of more than 26 million veterans and active duty military personnel. A federal judge ruled last week that VA can publicize its offer of no-cost credit monitoring to veterans whose data may have been taken from the laptop. Attorneys who filed a class action lawsuit on behalf of all veterans argued that the free credit monitoring offer might hamper chances of getting more money in court. The federal judge said the court can't tell a government agency how it can communicate with its constituents. The laptop has been recovered, and the FBI has said it believes the veterans' data, including Social Security numbers and birth dates, was not copied from the computer. Remember, at the web address or the VA call center numbers on the screen, there is information to assist anyone who thinks their data may have been stolen.
The 4th of July means a lot to Americans, and it's a day rich in history long after July 4th, 1776. Of course, it's the day we revel in unabashed patriotism and pride in our heritage and traditions, particularly the freedoms we all share thanks to the liberty gained by the sacrifices of our forefathers.
This year was the 230th birthday of our great nation of people, and this July 4th marked the 143rd anniversary of the most notable of all battles on American soil, at Gettysburg. The historic three-day battle fought on July 1st, 2nd, and 3rd reversed momentum to the Northern armies. On July the 4th, thousands of dead and wounded lay on the blood-soaked fields at Gettysburg. Ironically, Vicksburg, Mississippi would fall on that 4th of July and give the North control over the flow of supplies on the Mississippi River. But the Union victory at Vicksburg went virtually unnoticed because of Gettysburg. To celebrate our Independence Day, VA videographer and Civil War historian Steve Hollingshead produced this memoir.
As the hot morning sun rises over the Gettysburg battlefield, the two armies stand in position, ready for a third day's fight. The Federal Army of the Potomac, commanded by George Gordon Meade, awaits, as his opponent, Robert E. Lee, and his Army of Northern Virginia stood a mile away on the other side of the field. Lee, who was fighting an offensive campaign, needed his battle of decision for ultimate Confederate victory and putting an end to the war. His plan called for 150 cannons to be placed on Seminary Ridge and bombard 90 Union cannons on Cemetery Ridge and soften up the Federal line. It became the greatest artillery duel in American history. The duel lasted from 1 o'clock in the afternoon until 3 p.m., in which afterwards Confederate infantrymen under General George Pickett charged across the open terrain to the clump of trees on Cemetery Ridge. At the same time, Confederate cavalry under the command of Major General Jeb Stuart were intercepted and defeated by Union cavalry under Brigadier General David Gregg and George Armstrong Custer 3 miles east of Gettysburg near Low Dutch Road. Out of the 75,000 Confederates engaged at Gettysburg, Lee lost 28,063 men. Meade, who had 97,000 men, lost 23,049. Losses of the 3 days fighting totaled 51,112 men and approximately 11,000 horses and mules. It marked the bloodiest fighting of the American Civil War.
We've got another historical 4th of July connection in this week's Did You Know segment at the end of the show.
Recently, 6 unidentified Union soldiers were returned home to Massachusetts for burial with full military honors in the VA National Cemetery in Bourne. They were buried as unknowns in pine boxes, but NCA officials are certain that the 6 were members of the 1st Massachusetts Infantry and killed in 1861 in the Battle of Blackburn's Ford in Manassas, Virginia, just 3 days before the larger Battle of Bull Run. The remains were found at a site being prepared for a fast food restaurant. Some of the 200 attending the 90-minute burial ceremony were descendants of the members of the 1st Massachusetts Infantry.
No, they're not the Men in Black or the Blues Brothers. Just Dayton, Ohio Medical Center employees Willie Payton, Joe Battle, and Corey Cookson taking an active role in protecting sensitive patient and medical information. They were among employees who manned a table at Dayton's historic Soldiers' Home during VA's Privacy and Security Awareness Week. Their mission? To explain to all employees the importance of KISS, keep information safe and secure. Besides all kinds of handouts on the rules and regulations of cybersecurity, employees participating got their own KISS sunglasses and a chance to win one of those big water guns.
Based on the CARE study, Louisville beginning a new state-of-the-art medical center, Secretary Nicholson announced on June the 30th. The current Louisville Medical Center is 56 years old. It includes a main hospital building and 15 outbuildings on a 47-acre hilltop near downtown Louisville. There are more than 166,000 veterans in the Louisville area. Nearly 40,000 had more than 420,000 outpatient visits and 6,700 inpatient encounters at the medical center in 2005. The Secretary called for a technical analysis for the new facility to begin as soon as possible, and then the establishment of a site selection committee.
Recently, retired VA Public Health Director Susan Mather returned to VA Central Office June 29th with her husband, retired VA Medical Inspector Dr. John Mather, and other members of their family. Dr. Susan Mather came for a celebration of her remarkable 3 decades of service to VA and veterans. With her colleagues looking on, Undersecretary for Health Jonathan Perlin presented Dr. Mather with the department's highest achievement, the Secretary's Distinguished Service Award.
Did you know that in less than 2 days, beginning on the 4th of July, 1826, 180 years ago, the nation lost its second, third, and fourth presidents? In Massachusetts, on July 4th, 1826, the nation's second president, John Adams, uttered these last words: "Thomas Jefferson lives." In fact, Jefferson, the third president and author of the Declaration of Independence, had passed away less than a few hours earlier in his bed at Monticello, his Virginia mountaintop estate. The very next day, James Madison, our fourth president and the primary author of the Constitution, passed away. That's all we have for this week's show. We will have video for you next week from the 26th National Veterans Wheelchair Games in Anchorage. I'm Isidro Reyna.
Remember, you can see VA News on the VA Knowledge Network's communications channel or link to it on the Public Affairs website and the Content Delivery Network. VA News is there for you. I'm Mary Gluckle. Isidro and I wish all of you a great week.